Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our 4th Age Total War North Rhun campaign. This is the first time I think in this series that we're seeing an assault involving the Dwarven settlement model, which is a unique settlement map that was made by Weba84 for the mod. And despite the fact that we've been fighting in Dwarven territory quite a bit, we haven't seen this at all yet, I don't think. This is the Iron Hill settlement of Berez Doom. And we are being attacked by Rhun, finally. It has taken them a little while to find a way into the settlement here and finally put it under siege. They're besieging it with a... Oh, and I just remembered that I forgot something here, so let's run these guys out. They're besieging it with a decently sized force, but they don't have too many very strong units. Nevertheless, we may be somewhat hard put to it. If I can get around this siege tower here. I'm taking my general out, who actually is the faction leader, I believe, because I want to get him out and about. And in these Dwarven settlements, there is only one entrance and one exit, and that is this. There's only a single gate here, which very much limits the AI's options for assaulting and for finally making progress into the settlement. I don't know that I'm going to risk my general on these axemen here. I think I'll just let the walls and my own men on the walls hopefully deal with them. So far, we haven't done too much damage to them at all, but I think we may be able to do just fine if we can get everything set up correctly here. There are some ladders which are having a bit of a harder time approaching the walls. It looks like they're going to be set up here. So I'll move these guys out of the way, just to ensure that we can flank them appropriately. And yeah, it looks like those axemen are going to have no trouble arriving. But I do have some other axes tucked away. Let's see. Yeah, let's just run over here. I think what we might try to do is take out their general, which is actually a captain. This is not a family member. So, let's see, 41 Riders of Rhun. I mean, if we catch them just right, we might be able to take them out. It could be disastrous. This is our faction leader, I believe, by the way, Fan of Gargal. And yeah, it looks like they may be getting the ram to the gates as well. Alright. Well, let's bring these axemen down here. We've got a couple of units just on the inside of the settlement. Okay, alright. Looks like they are approaching. Let's get the mountain raiders in here. Alright, there we go. Did we really take like 2 or 3 of them out with our mountain raiders? Alright, we're doing quite well here. Excellent. They have a couple skirmishers. I don't know if they have any archers. I don't think they do, actually. So if we can finish this before the javelins get here, that would be nice. Not sure if we will. Down to 9 men, losing heavily. 7, 6, 5. All right, and we're down to just the general units. He does have 33 men. All right, great. So the enemy general is dead. Let's go ahead and take out these skirmishers while we're here. Well, the morale shock effect is going to be at its height. Hopefully, yes, and they're broken already. Great, great, great. Okay, so up here, it's going to take a little while before these axemen navigate the tower. Okay, and we do have axemen, but they're wavering. Good. Some more skirmishers are queued up to take the ladders, and we've got this unit, Spearmen of Rhun, a heavy unit, fairly strong, but they haven't moved yet. So I'm not sure what they're waiting for there. And similarly, the warband at the gates, not sure what they're waiting for. Let's move these axemen over here. And what did we have? I had you. Let's bring you right here. And I'll move you guys a bit closer. We'll surround them. After that, it's going to be cleaning up. Let's see. We've got warband, warband, warband. We've got, I think, 3 units of axemen, including the guys at the siege tower. Okay, another unit of skirmishers here. We could try taking them out. That might be the next move. See if we can rout them and maybe get some of these guys to switch up where they are located. Let's bring you over. In case this ram decides to move. Okay, are they already coming out? Yeah, okay. Alright, let's just go right over here. They're down to 60 men. see the walls here are fairly formidable looking anyway. I should say as well that in the mod, the effect of towers on the walls of settlements and gatehouses has been nerfed relative to the very early versions of the mod. You may remember playing 4th Age Total War when it first released, like, I don't know, probably 10 years ago at this point. You may remember having extreme difficulty getting up. Okay, and we're going to get caught here by, yeah, Warband. That's terrible. Okay, get out of here. Okay, that was the banner bearer, but the actual general is over here. Okay, so we need to pay attention. On the other hand, those skirmishers are now somewhat vulnerable, so let's go ahead and get them. But yeah, you may remember having extreme difficulty getting your siege towers and rams even to the gates of settlements. And so it was decided to make that a little bit easier. Alright, great. That was a very effective charge for swordsmen here. Alright, that's warband. Let's see, some more warband. You know, I could try hitting them. Looks like we took out all of those axemen. Oops. So we'll just move you back. I think... Okay, let's get out of the way of the other axemen here. And those units may be moving up. Let's get around, see if we can sneak through. We might just make it. A little close. No more ranged units, though. And, of course, we've got a very wide formation here that's not doing us any favors. But let's get down. If we can get them on the back while they're sort of forming up. Okay, and the Rams, that was their cue. Whatever it was, that was their cue to go. Let's actually try to take them out before they get to the gate. We'll ignore the axemen for now, since I'm pretty sure we can hold anything off up there. Alright, can we do it? I think when the ladders are being used... Alright, that's working fairly well. They got to pull the ram back in order to engage us with melee. But it looks like these axemen are going to get up the tower. So I think, again, what I'm trying to say here is, I think you want to move your guys to either side of the siege equipment, right? Because this allows them to definitely flank, like in this situation. If we just left the men here, the warband would be getting down right on top of them. And I'm not sure exactly how that is calculated, but I think it's better to sort of hit them this way, where you can ensure that you're definitely flanking them. Okay, that's another warband unit. Let's get them over here. Now, those axemen may go for the ram and pick it up, and, you know, make it successfully to the gate. But we'll just keep dancing around, and maybe we can take them out as well with a nice charge. Although we're utterly tired now. But honestly, we've done great work. No breaches yet. They've got one ladder that they can use, and they've got one siege tower they can use. And they're working on the ram. They may well get through the great gates. Alright, so we'll try this. I think this is a pretty old general as well. So if he is lost, it's not, you know, honestly not the end of the world. And so this is what they will have to face if they get through the gate there. You've got a pretty narrow bridge that you need to go across. And that was not a good charge. Alright, we are at least pulling them back. Oh, but we're taking losses in here. Alright, there's the general, there's the king, high chieftain. They're doing a war cry that may allow him to slip out. But I think not. Yeah, he goes down. Okay, let's get out of here. We're just gonna have to let them get inside. And, oh no, we're too close to the walls. Let's get out, get out, get out. Again, I think we're doing just fine in terms of the walls. Alright, we'll just get over there. We should be good. They may pursue us, but I think we'll be alright. And if you can do this, if you can interrupt their, you know, siege handlers, I guess, sometimes that will just cause them to forget what they're doing, and it can be a nice little distraction. We got a few extra kills, potentially, from the wall, the towers there, that we wouldn't have otherwise gotten, so that's worth doing. Here, no combat's occurring, but we've got this spearman unit, which is just waiting, and some warband are attempting to get up the ladder, so let's move over here. We're doing okay in terms of numbers. I think I'll maybe cycle in some of these units. 74 men. Alright, get out of there. I'm glad I looked. Alright, we will just bring them around the outside of the walls. And they will take tower fire. It's down to 15%, 18% damage. So they're definitely going to break through. And we'll get right here. And then we also have inside, up this ramp, 2 units of the basic hillmen levies. So these are not, like, really good units. Maybe I can bring down another axe levy. Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring you down. And they're still pursuing. I don't know if they've taken any losses. Yeah, you can actually see a few places where the towers have taken them out. And let's just kind of casually walk in that direction. They may decide to march back and take even more losses under those towers. Alright, we're going to get over here and over here with you. The camera angles can be a little tricky in here because we've got these chasms. You know, this goes completely around the inner side of the wall. And again, this is the only crossing point. So, you know, it's a very well-designed settlement in the sense of providing, you know, a very small number of choke points to defend. I think I'll just get on the either side of this one. All right, there we go. All right, they are still kind of pursuing. I'll leave them right about there. I don't want to get too far away in case we need to come back and help. We've gained a stage of fatigue back. We are to very tired rather than utterly tired. Okay, and down to 55 axemen here. That's good. And these units are actually doing very well in terms of numbers. 74 left here and 58 here. And how's this battle going? Alright, let's charge in. They're wavering. 62 man. That should be just fine. I'm really only at this point kind of worried about this unit here. And then, of course, if the gate is breached, which it will be momentarily, they are going to bring in a lot of men. Potentially all at once. Or they may just stand around. You never know with the AI. But if they rush with everybody, that could be easy for us to be overwhelmed. We don't have anybody in the central plaza, which, just to show you, so this is the front entrance, and there's, you know, like 2 or 3 ways to get to the plaza, but the plaza's off over here, so the quickest way is actually around this route, and then up a little incline up here. The other road takes you really all the way around, either the outer circuit of the walls along this road, or a slightly more safe interior route if you want to avoid hostile towers firing inward at you. But what you can do with these Dwarven settlements, if you're assaulting them, is capture all of the towers, and then if there is a unit inside the plaza defending, as there is often, you can sometimes get the towers to fire in on that unit and wipe it out, or at least damage it severely. So let's see what's going on here. Nothing, okay. Maybe they are just confused. I will just speed up the time here and we'll see what they're going to do. Well, yeah, here we are at the end of the battle here, just timing them out, and we've confused the poor AI again, but I guess mission accomplished. We have the city. We took out about, well, more than half of them, and we've got a fair number of men left in case they want to try it again, although I guess we outnumber them now, so if they do want to try it again, we should be in pretty good shape. I guess what we could have done there, of course, is, you know, followed them outside of the settlement, pursued them, engaged 1 or 2 of their units to try to turn their AI back on. But in those situations where, you know, we don't have a lot of good troops nearby, it's probably better just to play it safe. Okay, here we go. Another besieging of Raycoast. And a couple more stacks down to the southwest, appearing out of the fog of war. So this is just the state of things for a little while until we get our armies together. Now, did this army just completely melt? Or did they withdraw? They may have done that. They may have just fallen back outside the province. We didn't get any notification of the army being, you know, scattered. Okay. Fair enough. We've still got our king. The High Chieftain fanned. And so I guess we'll retrain everybody. The population is very good here, so we've got the men for it. Although, now, well, I mean, we do have the population to recruit more units. Maybe we ought to do that. But I think, honestly, we're probably good. What we could do now is go for, like, the military policy and get going on something, you know, more substantial. You know, maybe that would be a good idea, although, you know, we get them out of here. I'm thinking of these Easterling axe hurlers, right? How many places do we really need to train them out of? Erebor might be plenty. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold off on that because our economy, as we've seen lately, has been not so great. So we'll bring some spies down here. Let's see, actually bring you up. Okay, yeah, so we've got a couple of big stacks around Gwaithring. And this is similarly not a very snow-focused army, so it doesn't really matter what time we attack them. We do have one unit here of Axemen of Rhun. We've got some skirmishers that are going to benefit from the snow, but that's just about it. The bodyguard might not really be worth it, especially considering these are going to be a lot of armies. I mean, is it worth it, especially considering this is what's going to open us up to a front with Dwarvenian? It might be better to go for this, right, or Tham, and that'll just really screw up Rhun. So I think we'll do that. Maybe let's head over here. Let's check the supply trade actually on this guy. All right, he's still well supplied. So let's get the spy down there. All right, not really seeing anything else. Now, the one thing you want to be careful of when you do what I just did and get your scout out where he can't see some of the enemy units is that this preview is going to lie to you, right? So this is going to tell me I can walk in a straight line down to this tile here, right between that army and the city, and I can't do that. For one thing, there's another army here. For another thing, even if there wasn't, there's no way I'd be able to walk next to this enemy settlement. So you got to be a little careful of that. I don't think there's anybody here, though. And now it's going to give me, now that I can see the units, it's going to give me the proper proper indication. So I'll get over here. They may surround me and you know, try to hit me from a couple of different angles. That would be okay, honestly. Now, what is this? All right, I guess we can afford to do one more battle here. Let's go ahead and take the army out as typical and see how this sally goes. Probably won't show you the whole thing of this because we've seen quite a few of these lately. All right, so I was a little slow to get my guys out in deployment here, but they're a little slow as well to bring their men forward. We're going to have the same type of situation here. They're going to come forward, they're going to turn, they're going to head back. Pretty straightforward stuff. We're going to route them. What do we got there? Eastland Raiders for the general. Some axemen, some warbands, some skirmishers. Looks like a few archer units as well. Really nothing we haven't seen, but the difference here is that we're dealing with a fairly depleted force at this point. We've only got 4, or really like 3.5 units of our axe levy, so they took quite a beating. Let's get them in to support the skirmishers there. Okay, here come the Eastland Raiders. That's one of a couple of units of cav, but they're already routing. So we may as well kind of pour everybody forward. Actually, I'm changing my mind here. They're going to fall back into that defensive formation. We may as well do the same. All right, and there they go. So that's the end of that. You know, again, not great results here, but I think we preserved what we needed to preserve. The slingers are really important. As you can see, they've been doing a lot for us. I can't remember if mercenaries start with gold experience upgrades. They may. But these guys, at any rate, have been very useful to us. Very, very important indeed. And the thing is that they've got little shields, they've got decent melee, so they can actually, you know, skirmish. They can actually, or melee rather. And we've still got this respectable amount of Variag mercenaries. But it is the melee line that is beginning to suffer a little bit, and we don't have any way to replenish that until we get our infrastructure built, which is going to take a little while. With regard to mercenaries, all we get in Rhun is the skirmishers, the slingers. But we also occasionally can get those Variag mercenaries, but I think the refresh on them is quite long, so we can't really count on them. And also they're very expensive in terms of upkeep. But we have to remember every turn to check, because some turns I'm going to forget anyway. So let's see, are they going to immediately besiege us again, or are they going to give us a turn? Okay, well actually that was our turn, so let's take that time. Alright, no mercenaries yet, fair enough, and we've got 2 seasons left before Fiefdom Dominion comes online. So they could hit us with this army next turn, they could hit us with, possibly with this army, although it doesn't look like they should. I'm going to act as though they could. Not that I really have any plans at this point anyway. Alright, so everything there looks fine. That's right, last time we were sending our spy through the woods here just to see what the Bjornings were doing in the west. And here we go, a big battle in the open with our new general, Ulgan of the Tribe of the Cold Hearth, and some Easterling axe hurlers. So, I think this could be a pretty entertaining one. Let's see how these guys do against a substantial Rhun army. I can't remember, actually, if we've seen them yet in action. Well, this is not a great battlefield, honestly. Let's see. We can have our slingers here. I want to avoid the woods just because it's a real headache to deploy over there. So we'll get these guys out front. Let's group you. Put you on fire at will, and just about like that seems reasonable. And in case we haven't seen these units before, we can take a closer look. Yeah, chainmail, swords, axes at the belts, shields. Decent helmet. So they're pretty robust, or at least they should be. And we do have some spear capability here as well. So let's see. Let's put a couple of you on the flanks here, and you on the flanks on the left. We've got lots of cav, though, and I mean, honestly, if you've got a lot of cav, that's kind of where your anti-cav is going to come from, in my experience anyway. You're going to use cav to hurt their cav. The skirmishers over here, and axemen who can war cry over here. These guys can war cry too. I forgot about that. Very versatile unit. All right, so let's see what they do. They're coming from over there. It's quite a few of them. Just one army, but it's a pretty full stack if I remember. Okay, they're finally emerging from the trees here, taking their time for some reason. Not sure what they're doing. I don't have any concealed units. I mean, they're just going for my left, which I guess makes sense. But I also have a lot of cav here, so honestly, I could just move these guys up. Let's see, what's this? Axemen. Yeah, it's pretty much all axemen, warband, skirmishers, and then they've got a few very light cav units, so this is not a formidable army, but I guess it doesn't have to be. They've got so many of them that they could really just wear us down over time. Alright, but we'll just stay back. Alright, we're going to see them throwing pretty soon here. Spearmen are just going to stand there and take the charge. Let's get you war crying and thrown in. I want to leave the rest of my axe hurlers just like that. And the skirmishers were a nice little screen, I guess. I didn't necessarily intend for them to be that way.
Enemy warlord shows his worth.
Right, there goes the general.
Any of our warriors would die rather than run.
Alright, and let's just throw in there with the unit on the left. And yeah, I think this is going to be pretty quick here. Take out that warband unit. Let's war cry with you. War cry with you. And we'll send you after those Axemen of Rhun. And now it might be time to bring the cav out. We didn't kill the enemy general, so this is not going to be an insta-rout. Well, maybe. I mean, that was a nice charge we got anyway. Fantastic, okay. Alright, let's get over here. Let's get those skirmishers, because they could cause some trouble. And let's hit that warband unit. What's that? Okay, that's their guys. Good. Alright, I think this is just about it. We're gonna rout these warband, I would think. Oh, they're gonna take some of our horses out. Winning slightly, that's not good. Alright, I'm just gonna keep them in here. We have got to break them. It's kind of ridiculous that they're taking this long. Alright, everyone else is doing great. We've just got this slight problem here with the warband, who are finding themselves, well, a very suitable opponent, I guess, in the form of our chief's men. Look at this. They're taking us out, even after their general has fallen. I'm shocked at how well they're doing. Yeah, it's weird. It seems like in some ways the Axemen, which is the tier 2 unit, sometimes does better than, or does worse rather than the warband, which is tier 1. I mean, look at this. I know this is absolutely the worst situation for my horses. It's not the worst, but you know, sending them after an unbroken full unit of spears. But these are not like proper spears either. I don't know that they have much of a bonus against cav. They may have a very small one. All right, Barding Militia versus, what is this, Warband? Jeez, yeah, you guys are doing quite well. Okay, let's bring you around and get in the flank. Send some of these axe hurlers down this way. And now it's just chasing down the rest of them in the trees, I guess. What do we have over here? Yeah, there's some of them who are not routing yet. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, maybe I should be, but let's just speed it up. I think we should be just fine here. Because you're going to break. Yep. And all you other guys are just withdrawing. So we lost about half of a couple units of cav. Maybe not quite that much. Did pretty well with the axe hurlers. Some of these losses may come back. Lost quite a few slingers, but kept a decent amount of our longbowmen. One of these units got absolutely wrecked, Barding militia levies. But our chieftain's guard got a few kills, loosed all of his javelins, so this should be a good one for us overall. What are we chasing down at this point? Really not too much. Okay. Let's just stay on him, I guess. And then we've got like one or two guys fleeing over here in the trees somewhere. They'll be gone soon enough. Yeah, a couple of, actually a substantial amount of skirmishers. Well, so this is one battle. Now, the other thing is, are they going to hit us again? We lost a couple hundred there. And they could potentially bring another force over and hit us immediately again. Okay, they are not going to do that. In fact, well, I don't know if we saw them besiege anything. Let's take a look. Really quickly here, yes, I know we've lost our faction leader. Very tragic. Fast the Hunter, okay. Okay, they do have us under siege. That's fine. But yes, a new king crowned. So Fast the Hunter, where are you? Okay, and he will not be long in the throne either. He's already seasoned. He's the High Chieftain of North Rhun. But we lost Fand at just the right time, I would say. So he was able to see off the siege. And hopefully that army just leaves. I really don't know where they went. They may be in the fog of war still. But Fand did what he needed to do. And now we should check out who our heir is going to be next. Because, okay, it is Worgan the Hunter in Yodor. And he as well, he's even older than the current king, the current chieftain. Which, I guess, I'm not sure how that works. He's older than his uncle. If I'm reading this right, because I think old is older than seasoned. Regardless, he's going to be the next guy in line. And so we may, one good feature of this is we may get some more adoptees coming along. But yeah, we'll have one more siege to sort out. Honestly, I may just do this one in between episodes here because we've seen several of these Sally battles, and they're not likely to change. If something really interesting happens, then maybe I'll record it. But let's bring this army down here before we forget. I'm going to send him right down this way.
Out of moves.
And bring you down just to see what the units look like. So there's not a lot of Dwarvenian stuff along the edges, along the borders. They do have about half a stack in Fornhood. And you can come down to Thordram. Okay, we've got another 3/4 stack maybe here. Borlas the Hunter. So, like, we could threaten Thordram, and I think we could take it and hold it between the army that we've got here and then the army that we've got down here. I think, though, that it would be better long-term to take Tham, because this has, as far as I know, this doesn't have any borders with any other factions. This would just be Rhun. Let's take a quick look around the map here. Yeah, down here the Eastland reaches and West Rhun are owned by Rhun. We would technically border a Dunabar, but I don't think that's going to. I don't think they're going to see that this little stretch as a significant border. And honestly, I think a Dunabar has troubles of its own. So yeah, we can see Adel. The other settlement is Amron Dor over about here. So these two, this one is owned by Rhun. So if we take this, it is maybe a little closer to Raycoast, and this is very important, right? There's going to be a lot of loot here, a lot of big, well-built buildings, and there's going to be, this is again a homeland settlement. It's a chief city, meaning that we're going to not have to build any consultation and determine a policy. We can just build everything that's available to us. So we're going to get full trade, full military out of this. So a great settlement to take, and really just to throw off Rhun. Then once we feel stable around here, we may send an army up here to Thordram and start working our way back. But I think that's the goal. I think Tham might be the place where we just hold off wave after wave. The other thing is the settlement here is going to be more built up in terms of its walls. You can kind of see it here, but the walls in Tham, yeah, they are the timber walls, which allow units to be stationed on top of them, and they're a little more robust than these walls in Raycoast. If we can check those out really quick. Yeah, this is just a wooden palisade, so we can't even put people on the archers on the walls or anything like that. So we'll do this one probably off screen. We'll send this army down probably straight through here, bash whatever we need to bash in the area, and then take Tham. That is going to be the goal for the next episode. Hope to see you then.